charge. Teach like a work of art, run like a fancy scar. Running the case for hearts, tearing myself apart. Well, I'm just trying to keep it cool. I'm acting like a fool. I've gotta make it cool. What am I gonna do? I don't wanna waste my time just doing. I'm just being honest, saying that I'm through. I need some space, just so we can get caught. Let's just set the pace, just so you can get on. Floating away to the day.
I love that the thing that everyone is welcomed with is your look of disgust that you're on the screen by yourself.
I didn't. It was just really bizarre. I don't even know if that was everybody's experience, but that was my experience.
It was mine.
Pure and utter disgust.
I was just my brain was just like making sense of what I was seeing. So
Yeah.
all right. Listen, we are here.
We made it.
We're
did it.
blocking out the world. This is book club. It is a sacred time. This is R&R plus one or two more R's. That's what I sound like to you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That look of disgust.
Fine.
It's genuine.
Whatever. But I am excited to get into
This
this.
will be nice.
Let me go and just say, this section was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did
So-
you like it more than the first section?
I don't want to say more because I did still enjoy the first section. This has
Yeah.
been a really strong continuation.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah, I
felt
get
like, like if it were like episodes of TV, I'd be like dying to watch the next one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it was tough. It was tough to not keep going.
Yeah. I feel like this book is like very easy to just keep reading. Like it just like pulls you in very quickly.
because I know how stories work. I do feel like we're about to be in like the really, really fun part right before stuff gets real. You know, I feel like we're really hitting that crescendo, and at some point we're gonna drop again, but that's fine. Enjoying the ride at this moment.
I mean, you can't have a story without any conflict. You know, you have to have something.
You could.
Yeah. I mean,
I would be fine. Maybe try it.
I don't think it would
sometimes.
win Pulitzer Prizes without a little bit of conflict.
Who knows?
Have you guys heard people who call
a
them
theory.
Pulitzers?
Yes, I have. I don't know. Is one more correct? Because this might be like Worcestershire sauce, where everyone says it different.
Whoa,
I did
that's
not
a
say
word.
it correctly.
No, I
There's,
wouldn't
like,
hang out with
a
someone who
correct
said
pronunciation
Pulitzer.
that absolutely no one uses.
You, Tom, you did like this part better. And let me real quick, I want to throw this out there too, because I mentioned last time that because I'm forcing myself to stop at the end of each section, I've been having to get other reading material. So
What
two
was your
things.
in between this week?
So I have two that I'm working through. One is, and I mentioned this to you, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes. Classic.
Never read it before. Very quick. If you're
Is it
listening
funny
on...
to read now? Because I feel like so many things have referenced that book since it was written that it maybe feels somewhat cliche reading it now.
So I'm listening to the 20th anniversary. Is it 20th anniversary audio version that Stephen Fry narrated? It's a blast. I've laughed out loud multiple times, so it's really
very
worked
funny.
well. I don't know. I will say, because it is pretty short, I think the entire audio version is under 4 hours. I think
that's very short.
it's
Yeah.
very short. So I don't know that I want more of it than that, because of the style of humor. Like, it's very like cute and fun, and I just feel nice
Punchy?
at this point.
Yeah.
Punchy. But I think if it was longer than that, I might stop feeling those feelings. So that one, and then as soon as I finish that one, I've already got Project Bounce House ready to go. Because Andrew, you said you were going to jump in and you were going to read it as well. So
Yes.
that's my next one. I'll shift into.
But don't start that
an
until
interesting
after
name.
next week, because I'm rereading Project Hail Mary in between, That
so
book
good.
is so funny too. I forgot
Lots of
how funny it was.
projects.
So I'm on Project Hail Mary, and that's my in between after closing this out. So I've got to finish that before I
That's
can
fine.
jump into.
That's fine. I will get
Project
through.
Pencils.
If I do get finished with which I will, once I finish Hitchhiker's Guide this week, I'll pop into something else until you're ready to go, and then I'll just pause it for. This is the thing I didn't think I would do.
This is funny. I feel like I can't do it with this one because like I don't want to get like distracted with other stuff.
Oh,
in my
you
head
can't
while-
jump
yeah.
into other books.
I do usually read other books, but I've been trying to be more disciplined with this, and
With this
I'm
one.
also just catching up on Oscar movies lately. So
But
there's
see,
lots to
this
do.
I didn't think I would be doing this. I thought I would need to.
Yeah, you guys thought that these sections were too long originally. So
Well, no, but I also thought in terms of reading that I would need to achieve completion before I could continue, and it turns out I'm fine to. I don't know, have
Double
my hands
fist
in
it.
multiple places. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of just like watching TV. Like, you know, you remember what happens like the week before, you know, it's not like impossible.
Yeah, it is not like impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Achieve. I would.
Is this the first time
Yeah.
that you've been, Lauren, involved in a like an official book club where there's like accountability?
Yeah, as an adult, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry we had to do that.
But I think it's also different. Like, you know, like in school, I would read a book separately from my school book because, like, you know, someone else is writing the questions that I'm responding to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have more. You definitely carry greater responsibility for this than we do, as kind of the proverbial host of this discussion. So,
The mama bear, as it were.
Aw.
Twitter.
Well, I'll get you guys back on track.
Thanks.
So,
Great.
what were your kind of initial reactions to this new section 2, a couple of boy geniuses? Just general thoughts and feelings. What did you like, not like, etc.
Those are my general thoughts and feelings.
Yeah,
it
just
was-
cheers and happiness.
It was so good. It was so good. There were a couple moments where I had to go and like go back because I got a little confused, thinking that something was telling an historical account of something, but
yeah.
really it was either Sammy kind of projecting what he wants the future to be, or it was the origin stories of the character that I didn't get immediately, because we do have some back and forth where we bounce back and forth between characters and we hear about like how they got, you know, like what led them there. So it wasn't immediately clear to me that what we were hearing was the actual, like basically the first issue of The Escapist.
Yeah,
So I had to go back and reread that because I was a little confused
Yeah.
by that.
I really liked that chapter just is like cut to like a full, you know, like chapter, just kind of seeing the like escapist origin story, and then like comes back to them and you realize they're just kind of talking about it and this is what they're imagining. Like this is what the conversation that they had is kind of developing this character, and then like them kind of coming like just like you can picture this like if it was a movie where it's like that, like, you know, you see this scene like melt in and then you get the whole origin story of their superhero and then like cut at the end to them just like talking about it again. Like I just really love that.
Yeah. Another general thought that I had, not pertaining to the discussion questions this session, is I love how much this book actually reads as historical fiction because it gives an actual account of Superman and like the story of how Superman came to be, and it uses the actual artists and the writers like who were involved in the creation of that. So I wasn't anticipating some of the real stories that would be embedded in the larger narrative of and I mean obviously we know that World War II is real, right? But
yeah.
we have yet to really we haven't really dived deep into that discussion, so that can be kind of a setting into that can be a setting but not really be a historical fiction. This one is a true historical fiction because not only does it take place in a real time, in a real place, but actually refers to real things and gives you historical accounts of it. And so I was pleasantly surprised by that.
But let me real quick ask, are all the accounts true? When they're talking about like these other real comics that we know?
Yeah.
I think pretty much yes. Like I think if they exaggerate anything, they kind of call it out with the little notes or anything. And like the main characters and like kind of like, you know, like the people they're working with and stuff like that are not real. But I do think that they do a good job of just kind of inserting this straight into like real life. It feels very realistic because of the way they're kind of incorporating that stuff. And like obviously if you were a comic book writer in the 30s, you're going to know about Superman and like be excited about that and like look up to those artists and authors and stuff.
Totally. And the only reason I know that this is true about Superman is because I just watched this like 4 or 5 part documentary about the first issue of Superman. So I have this knowledge that just I happen to have gotten within the last 3 weeks. And so as they start referring to it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I knew this. Like, I know that name. I understand that reference. I know, you know, what Action Comics is versus Superman. Like, I know that because I just happened to have seen this documentary a few weeks ago.
That's really
So
cool.
I can't speak to some of the other ones, but Superman. It's called something Superman something something.
Superman achieve completion.
I'll find it later. I'll find it.
But,
and I'll
that's cool.
drop it. Yeah.
I think
just think
what
that's
I
like cool
enjoyed.
timing that you had that.
It is,
It's
just
also
totally worked out.
I'll just kind of throw in too, like I think it's kind of interesting how much they're talking about Superman in the book, even though the characters seem to be more based off of the guys who created Batman, who were 2 Jewish immigrants. So just kind of an interesting fun fact, but they definitely seem to be pushing more Superman than Batman.
I think I had this expectation. We'll see how the story goes. I assume it's things aren't going great. Now things are going really well. Now hardship. But things end well. I just assume there's some like nice natural roll to it. And so what I kind of liked about this section is a bit of like we just got into the good part quickly. I like that we're like seeing this rise happen. And we didn't have to spend too much time. Like they gave us enough to understand how Sammy was feeling. We didn't need to spend more time knowing about his frustrations. We can move into this. I think Sammy for me was the standout in this whole section.
Yeah,
know.
I think Joe kind of got the first section, and this is Sammy's.
Yeah, completely. We know, or we have an idea that Joe is very gifted. But getting to Sammy to actually to see his talents shine through and to realize that Sammy isn't just leeching off of other people, but he does have actual real talents.
Yeah, like it is like an actual partnership. They're not like
exactly
using like no one's like being like unfairly treated in this. They were both pulling the weight, you know.
Completely. Like the feeling of one needs the other. So that's probably my favorite part about this. But again, this whole section felt like a bit of a high of how it all transpired.
Yeah, it definitely felt like really fun and like you're kind of just like in the moment, like, oh yeah, like if you had this crazy deadline. And speaking of which, like I don't think I could actually do like 12 pages of a full comic book over a weekend. Like that seems impossible to me.
You
Even
could have like
help,
a bad one.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Much less
this is trash.
Much less 60. I mean, they did a
yeah,
full
and
book.
then they did not stop. They wrote 5 comic books and like in that span of time. I could not do that. The way that they talk about how fast Joe draws is a superpower, like actually. Like
oh yeah. Yeah, genuinely. Yeah.
I think that's like mind-boggling to think that they, like you could do that, but hey, the other people are much faster artists than I am.
Yeah, I was I really liked the story of kind of the different people coming to realize Joe's talent and it culminating in this ultimately this ultimatum, this question of like, do you lean into your talent and trust your instincts and trust the perspective that got you this beautiful art that everyone seems to be, ogling over, or do you sell out for the sake of your family or for the sake of whatever? Like it really poses this final question, and it cuts the end of this part of the book in such when it happened, I was like, no, I need to know what happens here. Like, well, I need to know.
It's
start reading later
slow
tonight,
burn.
yeah.
It's a slow burn all the way through this section. This is ultimately what I was trying to say. This is the shorter way of saying it. it's a slow burn through the section of different people coming to realize how incredibly talented Joe is and how unique that may be and how profitable that can be. Like, people want to start working with him by the time that this section is over, and I thought that was really exciting.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm
Go ahead.
correct me if I'm wrong. I hope I'm not applying revisionist history to this, but the decision to no, we won't do it for that, or like that's a non-negotiable. Sammy pushed that, correct?
Well, Joe is the one who said, like, I don't want to take the deal because of the thing with the cover. And then Sammy immediately backs him up, basically. He's like, if he's not doing it, I'm not doing it.
Okay, cool. Just that's
Yeah.
before I said my comment, that's good to
Yeah.
know. I'm going to not say my comment. Continue.
Okay. I was going to say, I liked to kind of go off what Andrew was saying, like the moment at the end where Sammy's feeling like the deal isn't going to go the way that he wants, and he thinks they're just going to take Joe and he might get left behind. Like, I felt like my stomach like dropped to my dropped to the bottom of my chair. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that would be like hell. Like, you just feel for him so much.
And immediately put yourself. I was so empathetic in that moment, trying to put myself in those shoes and thinking,
Yeah.
like, this is a game changer, a world changer, literally, for him
Yeah.
and his family. He's been in New York for one weekend.
Yeah.
and
Things happen really fast in this book.
Yeah, and everything could change for him, right?
Yeah.
Literally the American dream, right? Could happen for him. And to put that on the line for the sake of his perspective and for the sake of the art, right? Like, he has a point of view, and it's an important point of view. And I guess we'll find out in the next section whether or not, how
That pays
how
off,
people how people respond to that.
They respond well. I'm just kidding. I haven't read it. I don't know.
You're like, I just read the next page, so I know.
No, I haven't read anything.
Well, kind of. So, knowing that they make this, or they're thinking about this deal at the very end, do you think this is a good deal that they're offering? And I can kind of recap what they offer.
Yeah, lay out the deal.
And Anapol offers both of them $150 for the rights to the Escapist, $85 for all of the other characters. That's 4 other characters in this case. Sammy would get $75 a week hired on. Joe gets $8 a page, also hired on, and $20 per cover. And then the other kids, if they join in, would get $6.50 per page.
Did we adjust this for inflation?
I meant to do that this afternoon, but here, let's Google this real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Inflation.
This is a worthwhile.
And there was no guarantee of we're going to hire you per week or per month, and we're going to keep you on for X amount of time.
They didn't say like a time, but they are like hiring them full time.
Yeah,
so
they
they are
did
like
say
getting a
But
job.
they could fire them a week later. Is my
Sure.
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact year that this is happening, but I'm just going to say 1935.
1932.
I think okay, thank you. I knew
I
it was
think it's
close.
1932.
Okay, so let's see. $150
No, I'm
is
second guessing myself, but I think that's what it is.
$3,539. So not maybe as much as I'd think you might want for this, but they're also kids.
For the idea, you mean, right? Like for the IP?
Yeah, for $150 was about $4,000. We'll just round it up to an even number. The $85 for all the other characters is about $2,000.
So here's $6K.
$75 per week would be the equivalent of $2,000 per week, which that is actually a very good salary.
For
Don't hate it.
Then
96,000. You got to take out taxes. You're going to lose like 25%. So,
yeah,
but
and then
that's fine.
per page is about. I'm
75.
just rounding to like easier numbers, but to about $200
per page.
which yeah.
That's
Which
pretty good.
It would multiply, obviously, because you're doing.
But
a
how
minimum
old
of
are
12
they?
Pages.
How old are they?
In the story? I think they're like 17.
Yeah, 16 or
17-year-old. Here's $6K,
Yeah,
and
honestly,
we're going to hire you for
You're 17, getting like
$73,000 a year.
$100 is a
Yeah.
lot of money.
I think that would be hard to say no to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good deal. It's hard to this is a question that you can't fully answer because of the curse of knowledge, right? Like, we know there's so much more book left, so it's like
yeah. So you're like, clearly there's something.
it's
But they're not all gonna be winners.
Hindsight on this, makes this hard to answer, without bias. But yeah, if I was positioned with that, and this was our first idea out the gate. I mean, literally
Yeah.
the first idea out the gate.
I mean, it
and
is
they're
a really
offering
good
this.
idea. Like reading
I
that
know.
intro, I was like, I want this comic book. I'm ready.
Yeah, but if you think about how many other people have pitched other ideas, hundreds of other ideas, and never gotten this deal, there would be, if I'm 16 or 17 years old, thinking, hey, this is my first idea, and this is what they're going to give me. Great. Even if this fails, I'll have another idea, and they'll pay me more money, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be some hubris behind that would motivate them to buy, or to make the sale, or however you say that, right? Like,
Let me go ahead and say now, they should have sold.
You think they should take the deal?
It survivorship bias, like it's easy to say like what could happen to other people. I think that's a pretty good deal for a week's worth of effort.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it too. It's actually like just one weekend's worth of work, and you're gonna get paid like around $6,000 right off the bat. Like
now, it is important to know that is split, right? Like the other artists, that's not a full.
Yeah, I mean, I was adding up the 100. I guess the $150 would be split between the two of them, and then the 85 amongst the others. And then they get
they wouldn't
like,
get
these
any
two
of the
have their
85
paychecks.
unless Sammy, because he composed the book or whatever, and maybe Joe because he illustrated the book, right? Like he would get some of that, but they wouldn't be getting all this. Not each one of them is getting all of this. So
Yes,
right
that's
off the
a
bat,
Sure,
very good
but
point.
it's
yes, it is
like
divided. But then
35,000, maybe
and
30,000
I
a
think
year.
like
is
the
kinda
two
what
of
it
them
looks like.
getting a full-time job out of it is also like a big get, and
Yeah.
it's like kind of a dream job for both of them. So I do.
It's
think
either that
they
or
should.
it's either that or bagging groceries. So
Yeah, seems a little more fun to draw comics.
Yeah.
So when they're working in their little, like makeshift studio, they have all their friends there and everything. Besides The Escapist, which of the other comic books do you think that you might pick up? So there was the Swift, the Snowman, Radio Wave, and Black Cat, and I did write down what their powers are if you need a reminder.
remind me what radio wave is.
So he travels through the air on radio waves.
And I love that
it.
they
Fights
said too, like
crime.
all the bad guys have to do is figure out that they should need to turn their radio off. And
I
then they're
loved that
fine.
joke. That was so funny. He's like, I just
Yeah.
won't say that one.
I appreciate the honesty of the vulnerability of radio wave.
Is he the most relatable?
Yeah,
In that, like, you also don't have real powers.
all size,
Yeah.
nothing else. Or like all stature. That's it.
I think there are other superheroes that is their power, pretty much like Goliath and stuff, like in real, like an X-Men or whatever.
Of all
I
of
thought
them,
you meant the.
Not in
the
this book,
Bible?
in real, in
Bible,
other comic books.
in the Torah.
Hey, wait, hold on. Let me say real quick. I do the crossword every day, the New York Times, and
a weird flex, but go on.
Gollum was an answer this past week. It was
And you're
like
hey, I get that.
because it was like the Jewish something figure that, and I was like, motherfucking Gollum, like I know this one. Dude.
It's
crazy.
Golem and not Gollum, but you were so close.
And then I knew how to
I'll
spell
take
it.
it. I'll take
it. Yeah, it was like really wants a ring, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
what I read. Gollum.
Oh yeah, that Jewish
Says
thing.
my precious so all the time.
No wonder the Jews love Lord of the Rings. I get it now.
It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think Swift is probably the one I like the most because visually, I
Yeah.
like the name Swift, and visually the wings. And he talks about how the artist is really good at illustrating like these really feathery wings,
Yeah.
like plumed wings. I think that one looks the coolest. I don't think any.
I
of them
also
are
liked
really
the idea of
great
like his
super-
powers, his kind of crutch as well. Like he can't survive without this synthetic blood that lets him fly. I think that
Yes,
was kind of
yeah.
a fun twist. I
So,
honestly thought
he's
the
my
Black
favorite.
Hat sounds fun because I love the Shadow, and that is just a fun comic book to read anyway. So I'm like, oh well, if it's kind of the same, that would be good.
I think it was less about liking a single, not to dodge the question,
No, it's okay.
but I loved when they're showing the sketches and the other guy is walking them through like how you actually build narrative around the sketches. I thought that was
Yeah.
a really, really, I don't know, it's just a very fun moment, but it like, just hearing the expertise and how to think
Yeah.
about this and how it's more than just you draw this thing that's impressive and it can't be one dimensional and only do this one thing. You have to count for all these other things. I love that part of the chat. I think that was probably one of my favorite parts of the section.
Yeah, I love when they're having that scene and like Sammy really comes up with this like great story for the Swift and they're just like bring out a typewriter and they're like, do mine next, please.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So something else that I really liked in this section was the story about Sam's dad, the Mighty Molecule. Kind of like gets, I think, like overwritten with all the kind of little more exciting things that happen.
Forgot
in the story.
about
But I
that
thought this was
already.
like a really cool kind of insight into like Sammy and like what he thinks about and everything. And like, I think it's like very interesting dynamic that Sam's dad is essentially a real life superhero or like almost as close as you can get. He was a real strong man, like in the circus, like he can do all these amazing feats of strength and things. And he despises his dad, but he loves superheroes. And it's such a weird dichotomy that I think is really interesting. I'm wondering if you guys had any thoughts on that.
I just kind of found the thing sad, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was the way the whole thing unfolded felt like, I don't know. It just, I'm surprised that it wasn't his like villain origin story. That's a bit of
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it felt to
honestly.
me, like hearing the way he was treated.
Yeah. And maybe in like for a different type of person, it would be that, you know?
Yeah. I think it reminded me a lot of Succession. And just the relationship that not this far removed from it, I can't remember any of the characters' names. What's the father, Brian Cox, his character, and then the oldest son's name was what, Patrick?
Yeah, I'll just tell you real quick.
I'm just gonna Google it. Great.
Kendall Roy,
Kendall
and then
Kendall Roy.
Logan
And-
is the
sorry,
father.
Logan
Yeah.
Roy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally have seen it going that way, but I was picturing the scene where he starts to like slip a little and it gets sad and like you're seeing this monolith of a person that you've kind of put on this pedestal start to be humanized a little bit, and that part of the show was a sad thing because I remember in some respects going through that with my own dad.
Yeah.
And so it felt a little bit like that, and it did feel like, yeah, this could be a villain origin story, or this could be I'm gonna rise above this and I'm gonna be a better version of whatever, right? Like those are the two directions, the paths.
Are we supposed to take it? Because I know there was that big back and forth about like I was there, that his
Yeah.
dad was saying. I mean,
I think that's true. I just don't see why his dad would lie about it then, because like it just seemed like an honest moment between the two of them.
Yeah.
so like, is his dad feeling slighted about the situation? Is that what I'm supposed to feel in the moment? Is
I
that
think
like
a little bit, yeah. Like it hurts his feelings that Tammy's mom like lied and said that he didn't try to help at all, you know.
But at the same time,
But maybe she sees it that way also, you know.
But at the same time, he did acknowledge in that moment, like, yeah, that's predictable. Like, I expected that from your mom to not tell you the truth about that. So they clearly aren't. They're not, exchanging.
I mean, and he
Christmas
did
cards.
leave. It's not like a full lie. It just kind of seems like maybe she's
he likes leaving?
mad
is what
about
it
it.
seems like.
And what? Sorry.
I said it seems like he enjoys leaving. Seems like he's great at leaving.
Yeah, I think that's his superpower.
Like,
They call him the taillights.
Yeah.
but it was
But
just.
I
I mean, I do appreciate the maybe he's not all bad. I appreciate
Yeah.
throwing in
It's
some
a very
complexity to
complicated
the
character,
situation.
I think, like his dad.
Yeah. It's hard to tell how much is like machoism versus something else. But again, from the perspective of Sammy, I just felt sad for him. That's the kind of
Yeah.
only emotion I walked away with.
And I think that's how Sammy feels about it, you know. Like it makes him sad.
I agree.
But I think that's just like a really interesting story and like clearly like a big probably not like 100% like on purpose, but like that's clearly like an inspiration for him and the things that he's interested in, even if he like doesn't want to have interest in his dad. So I think that's just like a very cool, interesting wrinkle to the story. Did you guys have any favorite kind of quotes or scenes that stood out to you in this part? And then we'll get on to the discussion questions. I have a couple.
The drawing of the naked lady and the inner turmoil that was her name was Rosa, right? Rosa.
Yeah, Rosa.
The very brief inner turmoil, right?
Yeah.
Of just
Like the price just got high enough, and he's like, "I'll do it."
yeah
Yeah,
But then he still wouldn't draw her boobs, which I thought
but
was
not
really
but I don't even mean that turmoil.
Yeah.
The inner
What a
turmoil
man.
of, do I want to keep this for myself and never let them see what I saw? Like, I loved that
Yeah.
little nugget of how Joe processes things. Yes, this whole section was primarily about Sammy and their his story, but I feel like we got to know a lot about the motivations of Joe and
Yes, I would agree.
the heart of Joe in this. And I like Joe a lot more than I like Sammy.
It never crossed
Because-
my mind that was
I
a
think
thing
Joe's
that
just
could
like the
happen.
cool one, like, and Sammy is to me the more like relatable one.
What do you mean, Patrick?
The whole interaction, like, how do you come up with something like that? I know that you're trying to make a bigger point, but I'm back to just drawing a naked woman. The idea
I've drawn dozens of them.
Dozens.
it never crossed my mind to like befriend an artist and then like I'll pay you to draw me the naked people you've seen or like that whole situation was hilarious to me.
I call bullshit.
I thought it was very cute.
No. This makes it seem like it's something that you have considered.
I used to draw naked women with my best friend growing up. He got in trouble and was asked to not spend so much time with me when his mom found
You're
them.
bad
in
influence.
If I knew if that was in the realm of possibility for me, as like I would have done it, especially pre-access to internet. If I had even thought about that,
Patrick, I am open I am open to commissions. Like, if you're willing to pay, I will draw whoever you want naked. I'm just putting it out there. And this goes beyond Patrick. If you are out there listening to this and you want some naked women drawn, email me. I will give you a price. I promise it'll be reasonable. I have an 8-month-old that I have to feed and a 16-year-old that I have to get car insurance for. I will draw people naked.
yeah.
Unashamedly.
A small price to pay morally.
Yeah. I have no issue.
I love it. I thought it was very cute too that they mentioned that the guy that he did the drawing for ended up keeping it for his whole life. I thought that was really funny.
Found it after he died. Like, it was in his stash of prized
Did they
possessions.
attribute it
Like-
to him? Is that what they were saying? That after he died, they attributed the piece to him? Or
No, just that they like found it in his
They found
belongings
it.
when he passed away. Like he had like a stash box of his like
Yeah, but
stuff that special
I
things.
thought they
and
were
he kept
saying
it
that
in
they
there.
found it and then they misattributed it to him as though he was the artist. I thought that's what it was.
No,
saying.
I
know.
don't think it has anything to do with that.
I didn't catch that, but
Okay.
Yeah, it was just something for him
I did
anyway.
catch that it was drawn on like the back of an envelope, like a notice, like it was just like a piece of mail that it was drawn on. I love the vision. That whole scene was just so fun. I don't have a
where
particular
they all
line,
kind of come together as a team. Yeah.
but I loved that. That just it said so much for the characters' development in how they each responded in that moment, specifically Joe.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna read a couple pages that I really liked, and this first one is long, so bear with me. But I just loved this description that they give of comic books. Like, it's so good. Okay, so here it is. In 1939, the American comic book, like the beavers and cockroaches of prehistory, was larger and in its cumbersome way more splendid than its modern descendant. It aspired to the dimensions of a slick magazine and to the thickness of a pulp, offering 64 pages of gaudy bulk, including the cover, for its ideal price of one thin dime. While its quality of its interior illustrations was generally execrable as best, its covers pretended some of the skill and design of the slick into the brio of the pulp magazine. The comic book cover in those early days was a poster advertising a dream movie with a running time of 2 seconds that flickered to life in the mind and unreeled in splendor just before one opened the stapled packet of coarse paper inside and the lights came up. I just really, really like that description of like art and comic books and like, like just seeing the cover and like how excited you can get, like just like, oh, this is going to be great,
I don't know. There are moments where I think Michael Chabon uses language that is really approachable and really relatable and really like that really eloquently but like he puts it on a bottom enough shelf that you can really kind of grip your teeth around it. And then there's sometimes where I feel like he's writing because he has a word a day calendar and he throws out like 3.
Really?
There's some words that I'm just like, I don't know that you needed to be that.
It's very like long descriptions that are very. But
Ivy League.
I really like it.
Ivy League with your description.
I don't know.
The one you read,
like,
I thought the one you just read, I think was one that was done really well. Where I felt like, yeah, that makes that. It lets you take a bite out of that in a real relatable way. He doesn't always do that. Sometimes he makes it a little bit loftier.
I personally like it, but I think it's like a kind of like a fun way. It's a very different way of describing things than I think I've read from other authors. So to me, it's very gripping because it's not like just like, oh, he had brown hair. It's like he had brown hair like this, like it's very poetic.
You're upset that he used the term onomatopoeia.
Yeah. I've had people message me who I know are reading along with us, and hopefully they answered some of the discussion questions because I did reach out to them and say, hey, make sure
We
you
only
answer
got
the questions.
one this time, but that's okay.
But they said like this is it's a little bit of a hard book for them to read because they don't know what all of this stuff means.
Well, they should not read the Buffalo Hunter Hunter.
No, yeah.
Which side note, I know this is not part of book club, although it is a book. Spencer is halfway through that book right now. He
Really?
is reading it. Yeah,
That's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
We should
offline.
talk to him when he's done. Anyway, it's funny, like you saying that. I haven't had that feeling yet. There hasn't been a moment, and there are times that I do. Like there are other books that I read, even if it's not a large part, there'll be like a section or like a small passage that I'll just feel like this is just jarring, and it can be jarring because of like tone. It can be jarring because of word choice, or I don't know. That hasn't stood out to me yet.
Was it like the
Invalidated.
comic book stuff, or like I don't know, like or I don't know if you want to get into like what part, but I'm just curious.
I honestly
like,
can't.
what they were
I can't
struggling
remember.
with. Yeah.
I think it was probably more settings, like setting up things and talking about historical things. I honestly, I wish I could remember an exact thing, but there are.
I was like, maybe we can explain it better on book club if we kind of have notes like
Yeah,
that.
tell you what, between now and next session, I'll go and I'll pull one or two of those as examples, and we can talk through it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think the next one honestly has quite a lot of historical references that I was like, I'm gonna have to look this stuff up.
Okay, all right.
Like, or just like who these people are that they're kind of rolling past and stuff. And I'm like, I think that would be good for like discussion points.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I think that's great. I had one more that I really like that I think ties into a lot of things that we were talking about last week with the golem stuff. We haven't forgotten our golem. So this one goes, in every universe, our own included, begins a conversation. Every golem in the history of the world, from Rabbi Hina's delectable goat to the river clay Frankenstein of Rabbi Judah, Leo, and Ben Bazil, it was summoned into existence through language, through murmuring, recital, and Kabbalistic chit-chat. It was literally talked into life. Kavalier and Clay, whose golem was to be formed of black lines and the four-colored dots of the lithographer, lay down in the first 6 cigarettes that they were to consume that afternoon and started to talk. Sorry, I skipped a line. Lay down the first 6 cigarettes that were to consume that afternoon and started to talk. Carefully, with a certain rueful humor, inspired in part by self-consciousness and his broken grammar. Joe told the story of himself. But I just love that, like, the golem has to be spoken into life. They walk around and invent this character together and bring this all kind of back to the things that we were talking about in the first part of the book. I just really, really love that little line while they're creating this.
Also speaking a bit to just the power of storytelling, which even in the comic book world is storytelling.
Yeah.
To me,
It doesn't matter how good the art is. The story breaks down on how the story can break. The success of the book will be contingent upon whether or not the story breaks down. And I liked just on that topic, in the creation of the Escapist, that first round before he became the Escapist, that first round rendition that he did, this rendering that he did of the guy with it's a specific kind of hat, like the smush down kind of, not a beret,
square hats. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And
they're like not quite
really
a newsboy
newsy
hat.
style.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
But not. I know exactly the hat you were talking about.
And I like that his first version of that. He was initially, brought on to with the pitch of we want a Superman. Okay, he has no frame of reference for what Superman is because he's
Yeah.
literally fresh off the boat, and
Yeah.
he's thinking from his perspective, from a Jewish person's perspective from Prague, what that might be, and he comes up with this, black leather booted, weird.
Yeah. Well, it's also like fresh on his mind, like he traveled with this thing, like and so like it is in his mind like a type of hero, and it was clear that the like their boss recognized what it was, which I thought was also kind of an interesting touch, where he's like, oh yeah, I get it, but I don't like it, like
Again, just gives
and then
you more
I
perspective.
I would be remiss to not mention that when after this book was published and kind of was gaining all the like notoriety and awards and stuff, they did actually publish a run of escapist comic books. So there is like an actual graphic novel of the escapist that is like, it is not a continuation of this book. It is like what that comic book would be. You can go out and buy it. So it's like
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool that like I'd never I think I read it once because my brother has it, but I don't own it. You can get it on Amazon. It's not like that hard to find or anything, but I think it's really cool. And Andrew actually has some of the covers ready to go, which I think is really cool. So you can kind of see kind of what the like real life interpretation is. But to me, they describe it so well. It's exactly what I pictured.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There he is. I mean, it's just this. It's a beautiful. It again feels like a more realistic or a more approachable version of Superman, right? And I absolutely love what he stands for. When we got to the moment in the book where
I
they
highlighted
say,
this
and
too.
what's he called, and they come out and say he's the escapist, I got goosebumps. I'm like, that is absolutely perfect. And the symbol of the key and what it does, and the breaking of the iron chains, like no oppressor can hold you, like it just was so good. It felt like such a nice payoff.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the discussion questions for sure, but I think it's like it's a very interesting superpower or superhero, I think, because it is kind of a mixture of Batman and Superman, where it's like regular guy skills that can be kind of used heroically, but he does actually have superpowers on top of like these escapist abilities.
He can fly.
He can do everything but fly.
Oh, dang. What a letdown.
But why would he fly? All right. So now I think we can get into the discussion questions. And I think we've hit on some of this a little bit naturally, but we'll go a little deeper. So the first question we had for everybody was, now that we've gotten to know both boys more, compare and contrast Joe Kavalier and Sam Clay. How do they complement or hinder one another as partners?
And this is what I was hinting at earlier. I think Sam really shows that he has skills, because before this, it was easy to believe that Sam was a dreamer, but like the rubber never met the road. And I think seeing Sam like negotiate, seeing Sam work with people, seeing Sam kind of push his anxiety aside and just manage the situation while also backing up Joe the whole time.
Yeah.
It really felt like he was in his element. I think the book has already led us to believe that Joe is talented.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I had no questions about his ability to perform, but I think this section really showed Sam's capabilities. So yeah, I think this section just proves Sam's ability to be a partner with Joe.
Yeah.
I actually think, I think I alluded to this before. I said before that I like Joe better than Sammy. There's a bit where Sammy is a little grating to me, just a little bit.
He's a bit New York. I mean, right? Like,
and maybe
he's also very like enthusiastic. He's kind of in your face type of person.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of oh gosh, what's the freaking character's name? There's an actor and a character who plays a little Marty Supreme.
Yeah,
that's sure. Like last Oscar movie that I haven't seen yet.
Oh, you need to see it. It's great.
I know. I will. Probably Thursday.
It's just a little much. By the end of this chapter, or by the end of this section, I got more on board with him. But there was the first, 3/4 of this where I'm like, okay, Sammy, like I get it. I just am not I don't feel like I can relate to him as much as Joe. For Joe, I'm really pushing for him, right? Because he came from a world of oppression, and now Sammy had
I think
some
his
different
story,
kind of
like
oppression
Joe,
and some
is
different
like
hardships,
very
but-
cool and also like a pretty sympathetic character, given like everything that he's dealing with. You know.
100%.
I don't
yeah.
disagree with you. I do think that, like, I don't find Sammy likable necessarily, but maybe there is something to be said for someone that speaks a language, that kind of like talks the
Yeah.
talk or whatever, and he just
Joe
jumps in
needs
and
him.
does
He's
it.
a
Joe needs him.
schmoozer. Like he's got
Yeah.
lots of chutzpah. Like
Yeah.
I think like that's Sammy.
That's
like,
true.
to a
That
T.
sounds
Like,
Jewish.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I have an audience response from
yeah.
our friend Tom, who's in the comments right now too. So I'll read his answer because I thought this was pretty good. So they're a classic duo in my opinion, and fit in the story especially well because the influence of classic magic performance has on these two. It's a bigger partnership than the like performer / assistant, but picture Penn and Teller and you can see how these two have a similar energy. Sammy, despite being smaller and minorly disabled, is the face who provides the narrative and sells the trick to an audience, quite literally with his bosses. And while Joe is the one who's the talented artist and knows the mechanisms of being the escapist, they complement each other by being big talkers and entertainers at the core. Sammy makes it more obvious with his mixed feelings about his performer father, but Joe risks everything to climb the fire escape and be a little showman. The two are clearly creators with a desire to express themselves in a big way, and since Joe listens to Sammy and vice versa, they have a good working relationship for now.
I think it's a good
That
thing.
response is going to get a Pulitzer.
Yeah. Very
Pulitzer.
good. Very good.
I think it's good to remember that Sammy is disabled because because otherwise it just sounds like, in comparison to Joe, he's had an easy life. And he is just purely like the schmoozer like person. I think remembering that no, he has actual physical hardship that he has to deal with. I think that's really important in understanding Sammy as a character and developing empathy for Sammy.
Yeah, and I think like the situation with his family is sad, like we were talking about before for Sammy. So like that's kind of like they both have complicated dynamics with their families for sure.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
True that. And then I think this one gets into a lot of what we were talking about kind of at the very end of the kind of banter about the escapist. So second question is discuss the why, like we were talking about in the book, behind the escapist and how that reflects each character's vision of heroism and what is needed to protect the world that they currently live in.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm just kidding. I'm just,
Next
Like,
question.
next question.
Don't accept this answer.
I think, yeah, I think I said some of this before, but I do think that it's indicative of the world that they were in, right? And it's easy for us to look back on this now, knowing what happened, right? Like knowing the history of what happened with World War II, the Holocaust specifically, and how the Jews were persecuted specifically by Hitler and his regime and all that stuff. But at the time, they're still on the front side of this, right? Like this is starting to happen. This oppression is it's just starting. They're not on the other side of it, and even they know how important it is to call out evil when evil is, and it felt to me like this was their best way to, like this was their only way to have their voice be heard in this. Like what other avenue would they have to do this? And so using their voice to point out evil where evil is evil, it felt, without getting into any our modern day politics, timely.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I get it, right? Like we have a platform,
and like why it's so
we have an
important to Joe
opportunity.
to like use their platform to say something, like why like why he cares so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never forgetting the why is such a huge piece, not just for the success of a successful comic book, but for the success of what their endeavors are, right? Like to get a narrative out. Yeah.
I have go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I know that obviously it's very easy to be sympathetic for Joe because Joe has just escaped this environment. But do you think Sammy has a sense, having a disability, of how by, Hitler's regime that people with disabilities are viewed?
Yeah.
Because like, they're like unworthy of life, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're people that are like completely eradicated. So do you think when Sammy is like standing up for comic book cover, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
is there a part of that that makes it easier for him to stand up for it? Because otherwise, in relation to Joe, he kind of has less to fight for, seemingly.
Yeah, I think though that like um I think that like this hero kind of embodies things that they both really want. Like, like he has all the like physical capabilities and like the way that he looks, like everything he can do is like stuff that Sammy wishes he could do. And for Joe, it's like he
Sure.
wishes he could just punch Nazis in the face. Like he wants to fight and he wants to like help his family. And so like I think that they both like care about this, like, because it represents different things for like I think they both like, obviously I think Sammy cares about like fighting fascism, but not the same way Joe does, just because like it's literally in Joe's face, like in a different way. And
Sure.
like obviously Sammy sympathizes, but he won't exactly have that be the same.
Yeah. It is an amalgamation of both of their kind
Like
of
dreams, yeah.
Their dreams, yeah.
And I have to.
I do
have
have
another quote that I wanted to get in here real quick.
Yeah.
Where it says, this is after they've kind of gone and talked about, like, kind of invented the character, and they're like walking back to the studio, and he picks up like gum and cigarettes, and Sammy says to Joe, "Never mind. All I'm trying to say is we're gonna sell 1 million copies of this thing and make a pile of money, and you're gonna be able to make that pile of money and pay what you need to get your mother and father and brother and grandfather out of there and over here where they'll be safe. And I promise that. I'm sure of it, Joe." And in a sense that he really will be real, the escapist. We will be doing what he's saying he's doing. That like almost made me cry. I think that was just like so beautiful, where it's like they can use this platform to actually help people as much as they like in addition to just like having this message, they are actually wanting to help people with their ability through it.
Yeah.
Just love that.
It's really good.
Yeah, this book is great.
Genuinely very good.
And then I think we were kind of needling at this with our politics discussion, but the escapist anti-Nazi sentiments concern Sam and Joe's publishers. What are the challenges of balancing social advocacy and private enterprise? Can you think of any issues today that might provide a similar challenge? And I think that's pretty easy.
None.
This is America. It's free speech, everybody. Corporations
speech.
Understand that and live into it.
Yeah.
Can I show the cover?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So this was the cover in case you're just watching this and you haven't read this section
yeah,
yet.
and I
or
love that
you
this is
just
a real
wanted to
thing that
visualize
you
it.
can find.
Mike Mignola did a version of this cover, and so I'm just going to show that real quick.
Yes.
How great is that?
I love it.
Just the escapist, just whacking Hitler in the face. The only thing missing from this is that the book describes is the trail of blood with teeth coming out of it. That's the only thing missing. But
Modern day
man,
publishers are like, that's a little gross.
that's the cover. That's the cover that the publisher said, "We love the story. You got to change the cover."
Yeah.
It's a bit bizarre in that it feels like that an obvious evil is an obvious evil, and that people respond appropriately. We clearly live in a time now that that's either not the case, or it's somehow like a level of taboo to call it at face value. So in some ways, I feel like if I had read this when I was younger, let's say when I was in high school, when I had maybe a simpler view of how things function and how people generally felt about things, I think I probably wouldn't have. I would have looked more harshly on both the person they were dealing with, and I also probably would have understood the conflict less. Like why not use the cover with Hitler?
Well, it feels so cowardly, like literally on the verge of World War II, and their publishers are both Jewish, to be like, no, we don't want to do this.
But then like sitting here today, unfortunately, it just feels all too
all
real.
the time.
Like,
Yeah,
it
like,
just feels like completely. Yeah, of course he would be resistant, and I hate that I even it's not even a level of empathy, but just even having a level of
Well,
understanding
you can
that could
understand,
be the
like,
case.
yeah, like we're
Yeah.
adults who like, and I think that
Yeah.
this is happening so much now, that it feels like, okay, what would I
Stephen
do?
Colbert,
like,
anybody?
yeah, or Target, like there's a lot of
Yep.
examples I can think of where it's like they're afraid of any kind of blowback, so you don't want to stand out, basically, and it's like it's so sad, I think, like for like in a moral sense, but also just in an artistic sense, where like all this stuff just gets like tossed aside. Like this, like they describe this cover so beautifully and how like amazing it is, and like the problem with it is the person getting hit. It's not like the quality of it or anything. It's like it's just for the sake of like not causing
And the
trouble.
person
and
getting
like,
hit
what does that really
really
get you
sucks.
in the end? Yeah.
Yeah, but they do say this. They say we're not, America's not at war with Hitler. And they're not technically. But then the question then becomes like, does evil have to represent something that is only in direct opposition to me for it to count as evil?
Yeah.
Like, can evil exist outside of myself?
Well, I think that's
outside of
very relevant when
ourselves?
you're talking about Nazis also, because, like that was targeting very
Yeah,
specific
totally.
groups, and a lot of people, were able to ignore it,
But I think even between Joe and Sammy, like for Joe, it's a very real threat. For Sammy, it's not
It's a
as
little more
much
abstract,
of a threat.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do think he
Yeah.
like takes
It's
it
at least
seriously, but
3
it
or
just
4
is
people
more
removed, yeah.
abstract,
Yeah, but like, and again, like, just imagining every step away from that. If I viewed the world more simpler, like I said, I would have felt more kind of baffled by this exchange. But yeah, unfortunately, it feels all too real and all too plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we were talking about earlier that this book is very grounded, like it's very like realistic the way that they kind of do things. So it feels like it feels like something real that would happen, but it's so unfortunate. I wish they could just do it.
Because the fictional book part of me, because I'm reading your question, right? The fictional part of me would not believe that private enterprise would ever be compared to social advocacy. Like, that just feels like something that would be so many steps down on the rung that it wouldn't even matter. But it's a reality.
Yeah. What a fun world we live in. Okay, so we do have an audience question this time, also submitted by Tom, that I'll read out loud. So Sammy seems to have a difficult relationship with his family, marked by some very distinct concerns of his. Why do we think Sammy was so adamant about not telling his mother that he changed his name when he's writing? What do you think Joe saw when Sammy says his father was a bastard? I think like to me, I think the most interesting like conflict between the two characters is that like Joe is writing this comic book to free his family, and Sammy is writing it to escape his own family. And I think that to me is kind of like the most interesting like crux of this question, because like Sammy wants to get away from his mom and like have his own place and like be more independent, to be able to do his own thing, whereas like Joe was forced to kind of be independent immediately and like figure out a whole new life in a new country. But it's like such different points of view, but they still like work so well together to create this thing.
I think I just got the feeling that Sammy felt like his mom didn't take it seriously.
Oh, definitely.
So
doesn't.
any part of it to let her in on that was to just let someone in that wasn't like a confidant or a believer or it's like too personal of a space, like it's like letting someone read your diary maybe, because it is something he did actually care about. So I think that's probably the way that I would interpret that piece.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think like my mom would be offended by me changing my name like to something close, but not the same as for like writing and stuff. I think, yeah.
She doesn't like T-Rex.
She loves that. But
can you paste the question? I know we have a chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Paste that question because I want to see it. Because I feel like it's got a nuance to it.
Yes,
that I want to address, and I don't want you to have to reread it.
No worries.
But like I said, I think my read would for that initial part would just be that it's a very personal thing. Like it's an important thing to Sammy. And so if you feel like someone doesn't care, why do you want them to be a part of
I think
an
it's
important
also
thing?
that he just doesn't want, like, he doesn't care if she says no. It's like his choice, you know, like.
Sure. Yeah.
I think so. To cover that last part, what do I think
Yeah.
when Joe saw when Sammy says his father was a bastard? Well, first of all, there was this layer of like language barrier breakdown, right? Where he's like, "What do you mean?" And Sammy had to say, "No, not literally. He's not a literal bastard in the definition of the term." That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I saw that, and then I think it becomes like this first little glimpse into, for Joe, glimpse into a life where family means something different to someone else. Because I think him coming over, his whole thing, I think, Patrick, you said it, right? One person, I think you said it, one person is trying to escape, or one person is trying to save their family, the other person is trying to escape their family.
Lauren said that
Was it
for
Lauren
sure.
who
Yeah,
said
yeah. I'm not that smart, but keep going.
I was trying to put my answer together at the moment, so you have these two dichotomies happening, and this is Joe's first kind of foray into that, where he's realizing, oh, not everybody sees family the same way that I do, and I can relate to that because
Oh, yeah.
I have a pretty effed up family history, right, and story, and lots of people that I'm around are very family oriented. I married into a Spanish family.
Yeah.
Historically, Spanish families are incredibly tight knit. Like when we went to California, there were 4 or 5 generations all in one house,
That's
literally
awesome.
living together and interacting with one another. Us bringing Daphne, I think, made it 5 generations. Or
Wow,
something like
that's
that.
really cool.
In one house. Maybe it was 4. I could be wrong, but
It's amazing.
but that is so not how I view family. And to me, it was like me saying something about not feeling obligated to do A, B, or C with my family. And Becca's first time hearing that going, what do you mean?
Yeah.
We do things with family because
Yeah.
family is family. And so I think this was Joe's first opportunity to be like, okay, there are different worldviews when it comes to family.
I think that's a good point. Yeah, like they do have very different family, and I feel like I encounter that a lot because like I have a more positive relationship with my family, and like I talk to my brothers sometimes like for 3 hours at a time. Like we're very like best friends. So, but I know so many people who don't even talk to their siblings or like don't get along with them, and I'm like I can't imagine that. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, that would be just so weird to me. But obviously, like everyone's experience is different, you know, and.
You're Joe, I'm Sammy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Totally.
Yeah. We've all
All
been
right.
there, I think.
Does that mean we made it through session 2?
We made it through session 2. Do you guys have anything else
We did
like
it.
last thoughts you want to add or anything?
I'm ready to
Predictions?
get in the
Oh,
next one.
Yeah, you're
I'm just ready to get in the
go,
next
okay.
one.
Rip it.
I'm going to give us the goosebumps walk away.
All right,
and
perfect.
say sayonara, Sammy.
All right.
Thank you.
Adios, Joe.
That's a new girl reference, everybody.
I believe you. Yeah, I'm excited for the next session. 100%. Quick note, real quick. The website did not adjust for time change, so I will fix the countdown for time change, and then and then otherwise questions will be on there. We did make some updates just explaining generally how the book club works. So if you have anyone that's not participating that you think would want to participate, send them the
Yeah,
website
send them
link,
in.
and it will explain to them how they can get caught up and how they can
Yeah.
participate. So please send that.
And we've only read 2
Yeah.
sections. It's very easy to still catch up if you haven't started yet, especially if you're going to do an audiobook and you
Yeah,
can
completely.
get the benefit of binging and not have to wait for the exciting cliffhangers every time.
Yeah. You can listen while you're on a walk or run or you're working on a puzzle.
Yeah.
Or you're sitting at your computer.
Working on a
or whatever it
puzzle.
is you're doing.
While you're drawing comic books.
I am ready for the next section. I have
Yeah.
to finish Project Hail Mary because we're going to the premiere on Monday night. But after that,
You got a little
straight
time.
back
Don't
into
worry.
the
next
We'll make it.
Cool deal. All
Thank
right.
you guys. This was great.
Well, then that's it. Our next questions will be posted in 1 week.
Yes.
1 week from today.
And please try and answer them.
For now,
like it would be really fun to have more responses. Would love that.
I'm gonna, as soon as they go live, I'm gonna push them
Yeah.
to all of the channels. I'm gonna do a much better job of promoting it ahead of time, leading up to it.
Cool.
But in the meantime, get in those pages, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you
I'm
in the
Andrew.
funny pages.
Cool. That's Lauren. I'm Patrick. Bye.
Bye.
Clear black and white, sometimes we need a break. Start something, being the change you want to see, thrilling thinking of it. Got to be there in the well, however feels fitting, and they'll remember the time you chose to make a difference. We vibe on the low, yeah. Ain't no stopping it, so we don't go. There's no slowing down, no, not right now, cause we ain't got time at all, no. Ain't no stopping it, so we don't go. There's no slowing down, no, not right now, cause we ain't got time at all, no. Ain't no stopping it, so we don't go. There's no slowing down, no, not right now, cause the ways and things that we do are hard to hold everyone to hear count. Speaking up, stacking up till it's high as the stars in the sky. Always told to shine bright, you see it in my eyes.